Hello, welcome back, Summit Academy family. Welcome. So, this round here is, well, I think as we can see from the title, using order of operations. Order of operations. We have seen this before. And most importantly, the familiar form known as PEMDAS. PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, where the P stands for things in parentheses noting here, those are parenthesis marks there. Exponents, well, these guys here are exponents. That's an exponent there as well. And then we get to multiplication, so multiplying and then dividing. And then following along with addition and subtraction. Now, this is the tricky part. Whenever you come up to a point with this, if you ever have a part where it's multiplying, dividing, and then just adding, subtracting, you always want to go from, and I'm just going to make a note here, from left to right. Very horrible writing on that one, apologies there. But anyway, so like if you had, I don't know, 10 times 2 divided by 4, you would actually start off with the 10 times 2, which is 20 divided by 4, which would give you 5. Okay, you always want to go from the left to the right, because multiplication, division, and addition and subtraction, they what's called interchange, or basically means, it doesn't matter whichever order it's in the order of operations problem, you just have to go from the left to the right. But as we're going to see in the next few examples, though, what we tackle first is actually going to be even more important. And there's actually a great realm here because we have a conundrum, if you will. Looking at the first one, 5 plus, parentheses, 9 plus 6 to the third minus 3, and parentheses, minus 3. Well, we know we need to start with the parentheses first. So anything inside the parentheses needs and must be solved first. This is a top priority, anything within the parentheses. But we also then notice that we have an addition, we have subtraction, but then we also have this pesky exponent. 6 to the third. Now, in a general rule to talk about here, anytime I have a number, so like let's say here it's 6 to the third, this is basically means that you multiply it, and you can take it one of two routes. You can say 6 times 6 times 6, plug that in a calculator and see what you get there, or you do 6 times 6, which is 36, 36 times 6, so whichever way you look at it that way, 36 times 6, well, we knew that's 36, put 3 up there, 3 times 6 is 18, 18 plus 3, 21, okay? So again, that's basically in a nutshell what the exponents are. And the good news is we just solved our first actual part. So our very first thing here, this is when order of operations can become a little tedious, but the tedious aspect is going to actually help us out the most. What do I mean by that? Whatever you don't end up solving, you just need to bring it on down. 5 plus, parentheses, 9 plus. We solved this part here. 216 minus 3, and parentheses, minus 3. Ooh, okay. So, with that being said, we have this next part up here. Well, what do we need to worry about next? Well, we need to worry about this. 9 plus 216, and then this 216 thing here minus 3. Well, which one do I tackle? Well, we know that it's addition and subtraction, and we need to go from left to right. So we need to focus on 9 plus 216. That's our next thing we need to worry about. 9 plus 216. All right. So let's get that going. I like to perform calculations on the side. Sometimes that way it makes life a little easier. So 216 plus 9. Here we go. Well, that gives me 15. Put the 1 up there. That's 2, and that's 2 again. So 225. Once again, 5 plus, parentheses, 225 minus 3, and parentheses, minus 3. Okay. So the next part up is that we need to look at, well, the final component with our parentheses problem, this 225 minus 3. Well, 225 minus 3 actually is just going to give us 222 in the end. Okay? Bring down 5 plus 222 minus 3. Now notice I got rid of my parentheses. After this step, I have completely solved everything in the parentheses, so I no longer need to put my parentheses in there. Now I have 2 more steps to go. And once again, I have an addition, I have a subtraction, but knowing that I have to go no matter what from left to right. It doesn't matter if this was subtraction, that was addition. You have to go from left to right. So 5 plus 222 will give me 227 minus that by 3. 227 minus 3 is 224. And as we see here, this is the last part of our final answer. So 227 minus 3, and then that gives us 224. So we had everything at the top here, and by the time it was all said and done, I get 224 as a final answer, okay? Because I followed PEMDAS, okay, for our order of operations. So now let's look at number 2 here. That'll be the last one we look at. So once again here we have a parentheses, we have an exponent, we have some multiplication here, and we have addition here, okay? Well, what would I tackle first? What's the first thing I should tackle? Well, according to PEMDAS, it's everything in my parentheses. And the nice part is this time I only have a simple operation, this 6 times 5. So 10 plus, and then 6 times 5, well, that gives me 30, okay? And once again, I'm done with my parentheses, so I don't really need to worry about keeping that in parentheses anymore. So plus 9 to the third times 8. Okay, now the next part here, I need to worry about my exponent. 9 to the third, well, that's just saying 9 times 9 times 9. 9 times 9 gives me 81. 81 times 9, well, that's 9, and that's 72. So 729. Once again, I got to bring it all down. 10 plus 30 plus 729 times 8. All right, almost there. Even though this one is not going to require as many steps, we're actually going to end up getting a lot bigger of a number in the end. So, what is it going to look like? We'll find out. So, here we go. Ready, ready? Okay. I have 2 additions and a multiplication. Now, obviously, the next part here is that multiply divide section, so I know I have a multiplication here, so that's what I need to focus on next. And I can, once again, kind of write off to the side to help me out. You could do this on scrap paper, you could do it on the back, however you think, whatever is going to help you out. Again, it's always good, you can use a calculator from time to time, but try to not use it as much, okay? Keep working on those skills. Well, I know 8 times 9 is 72. Single 1 digit goes there, 10 digit goes above there. 7 times 2, I'm sorry, 8 times 2, excuse me, 16. 16 plus 3 is going to give me 23. So 3 goes there, 2 goes there. 7 times 8, well, that's going to give me 56. 56 plus 2 is 58. So, ooh, look at that. 5,832. So I have 10 plus 30 plus 5,832. All right. Last, I have basically addition. Okay. And just in good faith and measure, we're still just going to tackle going from left to right everywhere else. Okay? I want you to still be in best practice with that. So we're not going to, because at this point you're like, well, you can do it whatever way. True. But we're still in good faith going to go from left to right. So this 10 plus 30 first, that gives me 40, plus 5,832. Okay? Now, hang on, I'm just going to redo that one there. Sorry about that. All right, so 5,832. So once again, so I have 5,832 plus 40. So that's going to give me 2. That's going to give me 7. That's going to keep it 8 and keep it the 5. So my final answer is going to be 5,872 in the end, okay? And I'll circle it there. So once again, we had our original problem up here. We get our final result at the bottom. And once again, putting all of this in here, okay? Now, I know sometimes, it's just easier to kind of, half-heartedly just kind of jot some things down all here in the middle, okay, right? But I promise you this, when focusing on the order of operations, still bringing everything down that is not even being solved at the moment is going to help us visually see what else do we need to do next. I know it's tedious, I know it's writing down a little bit more, but remember, doing that little bit of extra work will guarantee a better accuracy of solving these problems, okay? So, always remember the rules of PEMDAS. Always remember that with multiplication, division, addition, subtraction are interchangeable, and you go from the left to the right. So starting from here, working on out over, okay? So with that being said, I appreciate it, your hard work. Hopefully this helps. If you ever see these kind of problems again on future math assignments or on your IXL, and I will talk to you all later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.